October 5th, 2022, Select Board and Sewer Commissioners meeting. This meeting is this meeting is also a virtual meeting. Zoom information can be found on the agenda. Please, roll call. Everyone is present except Mark Frieden. Please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments. Is there any public comments which is not posted on the agenda? Anyone? Hearing none. Approval of meeting minutes. July 2022 regular sessions. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. July 26, 2022 regular session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. July 26, 2022 executive session not to be released.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Review and vote to approve warrants for the period covering September 22nd, 2022 to October 5th, 2022. Town payable warrants FY 2023-11, FY 2023-12, sewer warrants FY 2022 SE-05, FY 2023 SE-06, payroll warrants FY 2023-06 and MLP FY 2023 number 6.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. 605. Consider application for change of manager on the all alcoholic restaurant liquor licenses for Kitsta Corporation DBA, the Manor Restaurants and Lounge at 42 West Boylston Street, West Boylston, Mass.
Proceed.
Sure.
Good evening, members of the board. William O'Neill, I'm an attorney in Clinton, and I'm here with Savas, as most of you know, I'm sure all of you know, with Kitsa, and my client is Frank Kula. He is an immigrant from Albania, moved here in 2010, and since 2012, he's been a chef at the Manor. So as far as his abilities, Mr. Fodiatis can certainly speak for that, but I would say that he appreciates the value that Mr. Kula gives to the Manor, to the extent that they are now trying to work out an arrangement whereby as Savas retires, that Mr. Kula would and a partner of his would become the new owners. Now, that's down the road, but this is the first step in trying to establish that relationship. Again, Mr. Kula has worked for the Manor for 10 years, since 2012, and we certainly will answer any questions that you have. I have filed the Corey report and the required papers for change of manager that the ABCC recommends.
You want to add anything?
No, just good luck and welcome, and I hope you continue the great work at the manor.
Is there any question?
Better too.
Thank you. Is there any question from the board?
So the paper we have here is just, there's not a lot of, there's just one page here, so it's just changing the manager's name.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. Great.
Make a motion to approve the change of manager request?
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye. Good luck to both of
Thank you very
you.
much.
Motion carries.
Good luck to
Thank
both
you.
of you, yes.
Good luck.
Savis, you're really gonna retire?
Yes, I will. That's your life, I will.
Just one
I've
question.
been waiting for this for a long time.
I had not filed the application fee with the ABCC. Now would be appropriate to
Please,
send that.
yeah, and send me the receipt.
Will do.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, Beverly Goodale Historic Commission. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to submit the name of the next recipient for the Boston Post cane. It is Rita Almirante, who just celebrated her 102nd birthday on September 17th. The commission presents the cane when we have worked out, we will present it at some sort of a program when we worked out the details. She is currently in Knollwood Nursing Home, and I assume that's where it's going to take place as she recovers. But we need the approval of the board, and then we would request a person to actually hand the cane. The selectman, that is your part of the job, is to hand the cane over to the recipient and be present at the ceremony.
Thank you.
Bev, if you could, just so the public knows, give a little history as to what the Boston Post cane is.
Boston Post cane has been going on since like the first part of the 1900s. The Boston Globe sent out, the publisher sent out 672 odd canes to towns all over New England, and they were to be given to the oldest recipient of a town. Then, at that time, it was just a male. Now it's so females are allowed to get it as well. And it's been going on ever since. Many canes get lost, so we have a replica that we use, and the recipient will get a certificate and have their name on a little plaque. We have a regular plaque that we put a new name on. We used to give the cane out, but it's just not feasible anymore. People are too transient, and we would never get it back. Many have been lost because of that, so that's the way we've been handling it.
Does the Historical Society have the original one?
It is stored at the Historical Society, yes, and we also have a replica, so that we can have out.
So you may not be knowing when you are going to present the cane?
Well, that's why I request somebody to be present, and I can work out the details with them when it's good for that person. I would assume it's gonna have to be during the day, because of the position that the person is in. But
Okay.
we had one, in fact, you were present at Margaret Goodale, was the last recipient. We had that one at Oakdale, and they put on a little coffee, and some of the residents can come to the ceremony, and this woman doesn't have a whole lot of family, so that would be wonderful to, but we have to work out the details with them as well. But usually they're very cooperative.
This needs only an approval from the board, and we don't need a motion. So is there any objection from the board members?
No,
Yeah, any
do
questions?
we need a motion to present the cane?
Yes, the individual who is.
Yeah.
Yes, I just need your approval that you approve
So
them.
I'll make a motion to present the Boston cane to Rita Almirante.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And the other question is,
I
is
would
there-
think the chair should present it. I think that's.
I'm happy to.
Yep.
You will?
Thank you.
Great, so I can get in touch with you. We'll decide on what's good for you, a time you can do, and then I'll,
Yeah,
And
thank you.
When you pick the date, maybe let the
Yeah.
board know in case other members want to stop by.
perfectly, that would
Okay.
be very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thanks, Bev.
So the next agenda on the item, new businesses. Consider approving business license, transfer of comic and entertainment license for the Pinecraft Dairy and Restaurant owned by Angelo Vengos to Pinecraft Dairy and Restaurant, new owner Jeffrey Packwatts. Please. Please state your name and you need the address too?
I have it.
Jeffrey Paquette. I'm his son, Jacob Paquette.
Okay. You want to say a
Yeah.
few words?
We wish to transfer the license from Angelo Vangos. I have purchased Pinecraft Dairy and Restaurant, and we're working with Angelo for clean transition over the next couple of weeks. And we're excited to be a part of the Pinecraft history, which I think we
Great.
all have a lot of fond memories of. We want to continue that.
Well, that's great, congratulations.
Thank you.
Is it just coincidence that
There's 2 on tonight.
there's two on tonight? Two
Everybody's
families?
transferring.
All right, that's good.
Any questions?
Yeah, the hours are listed 11 to 9, that's the same hours it's presently open.
That's correct, yes.
Will you be closing for the winter months? I know
We
there,
will not.
you will not be closing. Okay,
Okay.
good to know.
No further questions? Is that a motion?
I have a motion to approve the transfer of the license to the Paquette family?
Yes.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you very
luck.
much.
Good luck, welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Big day in WB
Yeah.
restaurant history.
Consider approving business license of Smoking Food Truck 51 LLC for the one-day comic and vendor license.
So moved?
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of signature of authority, Fire Department.
So it's just going to Max Sadowski?
And Robert O'Connell.
Okay, so he just has to sign the form that we have here?
Yep.
Okay. So moved?
Second.
We have a motion and second. Is there any further questions?
Do we have everything we need for the,
They have the one-page form.
We have the signed one.
The signed one,
We didn't
okay.
have it at the time of the.
Agenda
contract
package, yeah.
packet.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion of process of select board goal and objectives workshop, town administrator and select board.
Sure. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and through you to the board. I have provided the board with a memorandum about the goals and objectives workshop. As board members are aware, within my first 60 days, we need to convene to set some goals and objectives. And I understand that the board also annually sets goals and objectives for themselves as a body. So the 60-day mark is November 11th. So we have provided some dates for the board and times, November 1st, 4th, and 9th. And I was hearing from board members that some Saturday options should be included. So added the Saturday of October 29th and Saturday, November 5th. I understand that this roughly takes around 3 hours for this exercise. So tonight, I am looking for the board to determine a date and time for the workshop. I am asking the board to give an indication of their preference, whether to hold the workshop in town or to hold the workshop out of town as more of a retreat, and how, if we're gonna go out of town, how far you'd like to go. And then just discussion of the process for setting the goals and objectives. I know every community does this a little bit differently. My personal suggestion is that everybody submits to the chair, and the chair can make a compilation and draw out common themes, but that's just my suggestion. I'd like to know if you want anything to assist you in the process. Do you want to see past goals? Do you want to see ones from other communities? Do you want a community survey? So this is just really a avenue for discussion amongst the body to determine how you want to proceed.
I think, in the past, we always hold the meetings during Saturdays. And also, the meetings are little further than town of West Boylston. I am open October 29th as well as November 5th. It's, I will let the other members to express their views.
We've had it, in the past, we've gone out of town, but we did, the last one, I believe, was done at the senior center. I mean, we have a brand-new building. I don't think it makes sense to spend money to rent space, and the senior center worked out just fine. I would make a suggestion that we do it at the senior center again.
So then it would probably be best to be on a Saturday, because during the weekdays would be probably impossible at the senior center.
Well, the evenings it would be.
Evenings would work, but not during the day.
Yeah, and I'd say weekends I could possibly make the 5th work, but I do think it should be something that we do during the week if possible, if it's a 3-hour. And starting it like at 3 or 4, we can move schedules around.
Yeah, the 5th works for me also.
November 5th works for me. Weekdays, little bit hard, because, we do need a little bit time.
Does that work for you?
Sometimes it goes longer
no, I
than
can do
3
November
hours,
5th.
Yeah. Mark, November
I can
5th.
do evenings 1st and 4th, or the 5th one is okay, on a Saturday. Let me check 29th.
Chris,
The 5th works for you, you said?
Yeah.
5th works
so
for,
we can put it for November 5th.
Okay, 9 AM?
I prefer the morning one rather than in the middle of the afternoon.
I agree.
Could even do 8 if,
Eight's fine.
6?
no, I'd
5
rather do,
a.m.
Absolutely not.
Make it a regular.
I would prefer to
I'll
do,
run home.
I'd prefer to do 8 AM on the 5th versus 9 AM if everybody's okay with that.
It's good for the people working.
Um,
I'll keep it.
So we can ask during this too, to see the past ones. I know I've seen some of the past ones for our town, but they were very different between what I saw with the Nancy's and then the town administrator prior. It might be helpful just to see what maybe one other town has.
Some other,
Yeah, just as a baseline.
Sure.
I don't know what they do, so maybe it's not even in our realm.
So you're asking to see how they do it, not, are you
Well,
looking at what their
even-
goals are?
Well, even what their goals are, so what
Okay.
their objectives are, because if they were a similar town, we probably are pretty consistent.
Oh, I was just wondering if it was,
Maybe you can look up the older ones, maybe send it to the board.
sure?
And also, the previously, we did put it on the Facebook page or some places. We get some of the feedback from the town residents too. Maybe Faye can do that.
I know,
And also, we didn't take all of them. We did took all of them, and then we go one by one, discuss, and then, some of them are not this goal material, so we left it, so.
I know you recently undertook an exercise with Community Paradigm where there was some conversations with the community of what they were looking for in a position. So perhaps those responses would be helpful as well.
And I do have those, I can resend if. I can try this.
Looking at the suggestions you made, I don't know that a community survey between now and, I don't think we have enough time.
never
November
work.
5th.
Yeah, so, but all the other suggestions that you made, the recent goals and ones from other towns, I think would be helpful.
Perfect.
Well, the previous survey that was done, the previous town survey that we just did on what they'd expect from a town administrator, or what they're looking for in a town administrator. That
We didn't
the
have a
company
survey
did.
for that.
Yeah, we did. It went out and it went on for.
Well, yeah, so what she was saying, well, I think where they're talking, I agree with Pat. Doing a survey just for this will not work.
Right, it's,
But asking for public comment, that can work. We just asked now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying we can ask other ways too, maybe a blog, maybe the Facebook page, send them into the Board of Selectmen's office if you have any, yeah, that can happen. And then if we have any other surveys from the past, we can look at those.
So, to that, do we need to post the date and time also?
Yes, it would be a
Public
posted
meeting.
meeting of the board.
It's a public meeting.
No, I'm talking about when we request for the goals, when we request the town, send in their input.
The Monday before or whatever,
The week before.
a couple days before. Because I believe we took all that information, brought it to the meeting,
Okay,
and then we kind of narrowed it down there.
okay,
And then the board members brought any concerns or questions they had, and we put that up too, and then we kind of picked the 5 that rose to the top,
yep.
or the 6.
So, but we're doing Saturday the 5th at 8?
5th, yeah, 5th at 8 o'clock.
And then have them do, on, what was the week before? The 31st from the community.
At the senior center.
Comments by the 31st from the community.
I think that would work.
I'm not gonna get to go to Maine.
1% issues.
Thank you, it's all set, right?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Is it catered? Is it catered?
You're cooking.
You can grab coffee on the way.
I was
There's
thinking
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, all right. And Munchkins?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're running, could you just?
I'll just carry it in my back.
And just in regards to having it in town, I mean, we don't have it out of town because we're trying to hide anything.
No.
We have it, and I thought it always worked out good. Having it out of town, it was just a different atmosphere. I understand we can use the senior center, but it was nice to be into a different area. It's a retreat more than a meeting.
Right.
Other committees in town also do it out of town. So, I mean, I have no problem where we have it, but again, I just want to tell the public, we don't do that to hide it from anybody.
If the board,
We do it.
and I don't have any problem going out of town either, if the
Yeah,
board as a
over the
whole
years, we've had it at
made a
Holy
suggestion.
Cross. Yeah.
Can a public meeting be at?
Sure?
Anyway.
Yeah, we did that, yeah.
Yeah, it's more just the cost if we go out of town, if we have to rent space or,
Yeah,
you know,
we've
that's,
used, like I say, we've used Holy Cross in town, and we've used Holy Cross in Worcester, and then we've gone to other places.
We did go to the Boylston Golf Club, as well as one other places,
Went to, out in Sturbridge.
Sturbridge,
Yeah, a couple, we've probably been out there 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
But, I mean, this is kind of short notice, so maybe best to just have it at the senior center this year.
Catered.
I'm sure, yeah.
okay.
You're not feeding you at this retreat.
We usually do have,
Yeah, we will, we'll let the town administrator look
we'll have
into
some
that.
light refreshments.
yeah,
I will take a
Breakfast time.
mimosa.
mimosas and Bloody Marys, Christina?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consider voting to sign November 8, 2022 state election warrants.
If we
Make a
need a
motion.
vote, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. October 17, 2022 town meeting items. Discussion and assign more motions. Consider endorsing articles. Approve mailer for the town meetings. So, go with that. I think, we'll go by one and then
So we got
We'll assign
we
it.
have the mailers in the package, correct?
mailers in the package. So, Article 1. Any questions?
Oh, I thought, okay, we're
The
doing the
mailers is,
discussion.
Yeah. Article 1, authorization to hear reports of officers and committees of the town.
So we're just assigning them, right?
Assigning,
So you just
yeah,
assign.
I will take that one.
Okay, Raj,
And then,
2, Pat?
the second one is, second, authorization to pay bills.
I have to read
Oh, okay, Article 2. Pat?
And Mr. Chairman, as we go through these, the numbers have changed a little bit, so you'll see the updates from your most recent packet. So if board members have questions about any of these motions or explanations as we go through each article, I'm prepared this evening to explain.
So,
So for example, this article that we're on, at the last meeting, I stated the bill from the prior fiscal year, we had one at that time, and it was from Rico in the amount of $140.53. We now have 4 outstanding bills from Weston and Sampson. One is $21,010.24, $11,365, $1,952.09, and $2,176.67. It has been explained to me that the billing process at Weston and Sampson changed from a paper bill to a emailed bill, and that staff has come up with a process to ensure that this does not continue into the next fiscal year, and we are going to work with the accounts receivable team at Weston and Sampson to make sure that they are notifying us of any outstanding invoices in a more timely fashion. So we are looking at a total under this article now of $36,644.53, and the funding source would be sewer enterprise retained earnings.
Thank you. Article
What's
3.
the 140 is for what? Is that for the sewer department also?
So that's the copier, the Rico copier,
Oh,
and they, I guess, they vary by the DPW purchase services line and go every other year between that and the sewer enterprise. So
This is sewer year.
this is the sewer year.
Okay. And so for the other issue, the other amount of money, I mean, really, they shouldn't have been waiting for an invoice. They knew that this bill was outstanding. So I know you said they're gonna work on not letting this happen, because they should know that this is a normal every year bill we get.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
The other question for you is, this, when we approved the warrant, we approved only for the $140.53.
That's not correct. We,
No,
We-
what you approved
No.
under the warrant is
Oh, only the
to,
top one?
is the top.
Top one.
The
So
motion.
we don't need motion now.
Correct.
That's all I'm trying to.
Yeah, we
verify.
approved the motion, so that's
Yeah, okay,
passed.
yeah,
Yep.
that's fine. Article 3, Christina. Article 4, Mark.
Terrific.
So on this one, if I could just jump in, Mr. Chairman, today was the deadline for folks to submit budget fix. You have in your packet what those requests are. That has not changed. We have a total appropriation of $138,152. I'm happy to go through the individual lines if folks have questions. The source for this is going to be raise and appropriate. Our new growth figures were estimated somewhere in the $65,000 to $75,000 range, and new growth came in much higher than that at about $247,000. So we do have capacity here to go to that funding source for this. But again, if anybody has any specific questions about any of these, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay. So as in the past, you'll have you'll have a handout so we can refer the people to that handout, okay?
Correct.
And then we'll have a package a few days before?
Oh,
Of the
absolutely.
week, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
And what is the new growth? What's the definition of new growth? Is it just new houses, new people?
It can be new houses, it can be new buildings, new commercial buildings. And so last year, if we look at the trend of new growth, and I'm happy to share the past 5-year trend with folks, last year there was a significant dip. That dip did occur in a lot of communities. It's most likely COVID related. So now our number is back up to roughly where we were, more or less on average.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I haven't seen that.
Sure, I'm happy
Thank
to
you.
share that.
If it's not too much work.
It is not.
do you have in front of you, or if not, can you email us what the, kind of a brief explanation of each of these, what happened?
Absolutely.
Do you have
I
it?
have some of them. So I can go through them now if you'd like.
If you have it, great.
Okay, so the computer purchase services, this is for new software that will take care of the dog licensing and also the Selectboard's licensing and permitting. Does it, anything else on that?
No, boards and commissions.
Oh, and boards and,
It'll manage our boards and commissions.
So the appointments, all of that. And it actually syncs Damien and I together, so we both have access to the same database. So when you get sworn in with her, she'll be able to mark it, I'll be able to see it, she'll be able to see who's appointed, so just streamlines the process. Thank you, Faye. Yep.
Automatically update the website too?
Not that good yet, but this might help that breakdown. Because we'll be able to print actual reports off of it.
And again, because he brought it up, we are looking through the website to update a lot, because a lot of them I've noticed are still wrong people.
There's a lot of updates that
Okay,
need to
thank
occur
you.
on the website.
Okay.
So the next two, the police purchase services and police supplies, these are both for onboarding 2 new officers. So the costs associated with those onboarding, including uniforms and such. Fire salaries and wages, this is from a lot of different sources to come up with this $53,855. So you did have an overlap of 2 chiefs. There was also a vacation buyout from the retired chief. There were a couple smaller adjustments and some clothing adjustments. And I'm happy to share in more detail, just rather than read it all here, with the board, so you have the full explanation of each and every one of these. Fire purchase services, this is a repair for ambulance 1. Sealer of weights purchase services, I believe, Faye, this is the state increased their rate? Correct, after the budget was created. DPW purchase services, this is a repair to a dump body. Parks, the Goodale Parks Maintenance, $24,000, they were hit with an $18,000 water bill. And the other $4,000 is to repair part of the irrigation system, so hopefully that water bill issue will not continue. And library salaries and wages is to backfill an employee that will be going out on medical leave.
My only question on the parks maintenance one, are we repairing I know that there was an issue with the well works, but the well pump isn't working. Are we replacing the whole thing, or are we just gonna try to put a Band-Aid on
It's
it?
a replacement.
Okay, good.
Good question, that wasn't really mine.
Okay, that's for Mark.
Good luck, Mark.
Yeah, no. Well, I scrolled it all down here, so I'll just start spouting off information. We'll see how many people we can get to talk.
This one you just say, this is to fix issues with the budget.
Oh,
And
I thought
nobody
it
asked
was
any
printed
questions.
in the warrant.
Why, I don't know.
And then refer it to the handout. Yep,
I was gonna stop with as printed in the warrant.
yeah, perfect.
Article 5 for Chris.
Yep.
Article 6. That's me.
Okay, so,
Public
Mr. Chairman, if I
improvement.
could jump in here, this one has been whittled down a little bit from the previous version that you saw. Capital Investment Board has met times to consider each of the requests, so you'll see that some of them have come off. What remains on this list, there's still one item that they are considering, that's marked as number E, the replacement of car 2, the 2008 Ford F-250 pickup. They would like to have some continued conversations with the fire chief about this item before weighing in on an endorsement. And the item B, the Prescott Street Bridge replacement, that came with a neutral opinion from CIB.
Can I ask about that one? So it says replacement. It's replacing the current bridge that's there?
It's not, no. So the bridge is a near failed status. So the state may shut the bridge down when they come out. This is the design and engineering and permitting work that will be required to replace this bridge in the future. So, the intent of doing this in 2 parts as opposed to 1 is that we would have a shovel-ready project when the design and engineering and permitting is complete, and having a project in a shovel-ready status opens you up to grant opportunities. It's no guarantee that we would receive a grant, but it just opens you up to those opportunities. Ultimately, folks are gonna have to make a decision about whether we have essentially a very, very long dead-end road and they're potentially, you know, I have not talked to the chiefs yet, but potentially with an impact on public safety, because I understand people use this road to beat around Route 12. So, you know, that's really the question. If we don't go forward with doing the work to repair this bridge, the road would stop there.
And all the 150's doing is getting us design, permitting, and bids.
Correct.
Bid documents, that's it.
That's
So
it.
we'll get a price.
It will get us to the shovel-ready status that opens up these doors that, you know, last year, the state had a lot of grant programs that they were trying to expend funds, and they said, do you have a projects in the queue? I don't know if this is TIP eligible, but I had a meeting with CMRPC, and they were going to explore whether or not this would be a TIP eligible road.
How do they come up with the 150,000?
So Kevin Duffy, the director, did speak with a engineering firm to get a quote, so I do have that backup, and I'm happy to share that with the board.
Thank you.
Car one command vehicle, fire or police?
Yeah, what is?
Fire. Both of those, all of these requests are DPW and fire. So the top three are DPW, the bottom two are fire.
Can we put that in just so
Sure.
people will know that it's,
One question, I know the DPW director vehicle went back and forth, and I was at a few of those meetings. Do you know what the determination was? Are we moving away from an actual work truck
So,
to a car?
I don't know what they're getting for $42,000.
Well, that
It's not a
they-
big truck.
Well, I was gonna say, he has a truck now, and I knew there was a push that it needs to be a working vehicle for town.
so my understanding, what I've been informed, so I can't
Yeah.
speak to beyond that, is that the truck that he currently is driving cannot house a plow. So it does have some towing capacity, it does have the bed. For his work, he has indicated it is more beneficial to him for his position if he has a place where he can raise the lift on the back, spread out a set of plans if it's in inclement weather, and review the plans without damaging the plans.
So he wants a
So,
small
He
SUV.
wants a small SUV.
I was gonna say, so that was
Yeah.
kind of so for $42,000, I know he had made a request to have like a hybrid, small SUV to drive. And we are good with that, because I know there was a lot of tension with that now is no longer a vehicle that can replace any of the other DPW trucks, pick up any material.
So personally, my opinion is that a SUV is appropriate for a DPW director.
Okay.
The other vehicle, it is my opinion that we should not be adding it to the fleet. So we're not gonna have an extra, but if there is some utility left in that vehicle, in the pickup truck, I would suggest that we don't trade it or auction it. I would suggest that we keep that vehicle for as good as its lifespan is for the department to have an additional vehicle if something should go down. There is the associated carrying costs with insurance for it, of course.
No?
Have this 42,000 did we actually get is that the price of a vehicle? I'm
He
just
has-
thinking about prices right now.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
he has a quote that he did obtain. Let me just see, from Colonial Municipal Group. And what they quoted was a Ford Explorer at $39,141. I actually talked to him about, see if there's other, maybe a little smaller SUV, a Ford Escape or what have you. I don't know that we need an Explorer, and would that be a little more cost effective?
That's a really good price. Is it new? It can't be new.
It is,
42,000
it's
for
new,
an
it's because it's on this municipal purchasing.
yeah, for an SUV.
Can I add my kid to that? Because she needs a car right there.
42,000 for an SUV, I think that's an average price.
Oh, Faye is telling me that Chris Berglund is happy to chime in.
If anyone has a question for the Chris Berglund.
Well, I have a question, but let's let Chris talk first. Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, no, I just wanted to say, if you have any questions on how the CIB voted, I'm more than happy to give you what my take was on it, but I think Jen's done a wonderful job.
So what did, I would ask, what was the thought of having an SUV and not a truck?
Good question, Chris. I mean, we asked the same question, and basically Kevin said to us that he can perform his job better with an SUV, and we said, well, it's certainly less money than a truck would be, and we just wanted to make sure that there was concurrence between the department head and the town administrator on that asset purchase. Jen seemed to be in line with that, so we were fine with it. We were a little, let's say, not as, we're a little concerned about keeping the truck as well, because we don't want the DPW to become dependent on another vehicle. There's obviously going to be additional costs, as Jen alluded to earlier, in keeping that additional vehicle, whether it be insurance, maintenance, and so forth. But again, it's, we're not the ones determining what the best asset is to perform the function of the DPW director. That's really between the director and the town administrator.
So I guess my question would be, so the truck is obviously is being used now for something.
He's driving the truck, yes.
Does he ever use it to move stuff? Does he do anything with it?
What-
Does he just drive around?
What he has stated is that the only time he uses the bed of the truck is if he's driving and he sees a downed limb that's on the smaller scale, and he'll stop and pick it up and throw it in the bed of the truck.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I just remembered the past town administrator was adamant that we had to have a truck. So I just remember being in those meetings, but I don't,
So the other truck, if we didn't use it for anything, let's just surplus it. Why are we just gonna keep it there? If it hasn't been used except to pick up little limbs, I guess why are we keeping it? Just so it's there in case, it can't do anything more than that, you said, it
I
can't
would
plow.
wanna look and see if it should stay then, in that case, and if something else should be surplus in its stead, and keep that one in the fleet. It's not a horrible vehicle. It's older, but it's not.
how about the building inspector's vehicle? Because I'm pretty sure that used to be the
Dog officer.
dog officer's vehicle. That one, I don't know. I saw him
That
today
vehicle
chugging
needs
by.
replacing.
So,
It's out here?
Yeah, that's the one.
So we're
Yeah, somebody
talking,
uses that a lot.
we're talking about surplusing the vehicle.
uses it all the time.
Does he?
Drives.
Does it
You
never
get more
move?
money if you traded it in.
Yeah, whatever would get more money. We actually probably would get more money on a private sale than trading it.
The only way we can do that is surplus it.
Right.
So,
And then it's a closed bid, so that's the only way. That's the only way we can, unless we can trade it, you're right.
I mean, I know when items are deemed surplus, the
never
little
know.
items we don't get squat for. Vehicles are different. I would assume there's kind of a,
You can begin the bid with a minimum.
got it.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the DPW should have a truck, the DPW director. So, but we're gonna have an SUV, it's gonna be fully marked DPW.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I just think it's always, on a real bad night, any way you look at it, a truck still gets through bad weather better than an SUV. I mean, and it's a truck that can be used for emergencies if needed. The SUV, it will never be used for anything more than the DPW director driving it around. There's no other need for a DPW to use an SUV, unless he drives down and picks up a small pot somewhere.
I think that I would feel more strongly if they were mounting a plow to this vehicle in the winter and using it as an additional plow, whether it be for parking lots or
The truck?
what, yeah.
Is this the truck they're getting, a full-size truck that could have a plow, or is it just a little thing?
So I don't know what he's gone back and forth, so we have one quote, he's talked about other vehicles, I'm not sure, what exactly he's gonna end up purchasing. He could speak better to that at town meeting than
What do you mean, the DPW's vehicle?
the
The new one.
new one. Could you
It's
mount
gonna
a
be an
plow?
SUV, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
No, he was saying, could we mount a
I mean,
plow
it's
to
like a
it?
full-size Tahoe or something like that, that could.
It's not gonna
Not
be
a-
a Tahoe.
Oh, you
road.
The quote is on a Ford
Small,
Explorer.
Yeah.
Oh, Explorer, okay.
Yeah, you couldn't
Okay.
put a plow on any of those. Yeah. I think, I'm sure the Capital Investment Board talked about it, but I think the DPW director should drive a truck, because it could be used for more than just picking up small limbs if he's driving around. This, all he's gonna do with it is drive around. Nothing, it can't ever be used as a vehicle to do the job that the DPW does, so that's, I don't know, Chris, do you have, has that been the same discussion you folks had, or?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chairman. I guess what I'd like to address is, when we spoke with Kevin about this, he felt that he could keep some of his equipment in a better environment in a small SUV, and that's what he spoke to us. And I know, Jen, if he gave you, if he said the same thing to you when he was talking to this vehicle. Chris, I hear your point. I know Nancy was, the former town administrator, was adamant about that as well, that the DPW director drive a truck. But from the standpoint of, he seemed to be give an argument for a good reason for having an SUV in its place. It will not have a plow. It will not be fitted for a plow. That was not included in the quote. But my understanding was it was not. Said the truck he has now could not, what was not fitted for a plow either.
Correct, so you see, I look at it as, instead of 42,000, I'd rather spend more and have something that can be used in case they need a truck for something more important than a car that all they're gonna do is use it for him to drive around. That's my thought, but I'm sure there's been discussion on that, so I'll go with it. It just seems like,
Chris, on item B, you guys have voted to include it, but take a neutral position. Can you speak to that decision?
Sure, I mean, we looked at that because, again, we were not sure what the, I mean, one of the things that again, came out of this item and probably led to the longevity of the first meeting that we had pertaining to it was, we don't have on the capital replacement list in town. So we were a little, that's one of the things we have charged, or hopefully the DPW director will come back with anything that we may be looking at down the road on this thing. The other was, what happens, because 150,000 is just design and permitting for this bridge replacement. It's a 2-lane road. I don't even know if it's really, from the formality of calling it a bridge, it's more like a road over a culvert, understanding that there's Conservation Commission impacts and all that sort of stuff in it. But where, we will, so what happens if the state comes in, so what happens if we don't do this? And Kevin was, will the state open and close this down? Could close the road down. And so from the Finance Committee standpoint, we're like, well, okay, so is that going to create a bad situation from an emergency response standpoint or anything like that? Because there's no houses, no other properties that are serviced in West Boylston beyond that bridge. So we were like, kind of indifferent. So it's closed down. What's where's the impact there? It's really not our decision, but from a financial standpoint, I mean, we don't know what this is going to cost to replace, but it's certainly going to cost more than $150,000. And I guess that was, how prepared are we to do this going forward? And what other sources are there for funding? So, Jen, I don't know.
So, Chris, I have one question. So you said it was not currently on the list of things that the capital board is actually tracking to ever replace, but it is a structure owned by the town, correct? Is there a reason why it's not on that list? Because that doesn't make much sense to me.
I can only speculate. It perhaps was due to
know
the
what it is.
churning in that position, the turnover in the DPW
So
director
it kind of
position.
just kind of got lost.
That's possible, but I could only speculate. The state gave the report, which, when Mr. Duffy had received that, caused him, a little bit of alarm. I did ask CMRPC if they could do traffic counts for us, and hopefully we can get those done before town meeting, so we can have a realistic view of how many vehicles and what types of vehicles are moving over that structure. So again, in my view, unless the will is to just shut down the road, unless that's the will, we would need to spend money with no guarantee that we're getting a grant and putting the actual replacement of the structure on the capital plan in the future. But if the will is to shut down the road and dead-end it on either side, then, I mean,
And can we?
I believe we can.
Okay.
Oh, we can, yeah, we've done that before.
I mean,
Through the chair,
Aye. Yes, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, so we did, discuss the, shutting down, potentially shutting down the road. Keeping in mind though, that even if we did shut down the road, I believe there would be some kind of an expense to, whether it be Concom, somebody would, DCR, somebody would come back to us and make us restore, I'm sure, that, stream bed to its original condition. So the town would, and I believe that would fall on the town to do that. So,
That's
I think it's really important, and again, it's no reflection on Kevin, it's, I think this is, I think Jen hit the nail on the head, turnover in that position has just not picked up these, and if there's any more, I don't know if there's any more, culvert things like this that we might have in town, so we'll hopefully get those in place, but there will be some expense with this regardless whether this is voted or not.
Mark, go
I
ahead.
was also gonna say that there's, gonna be expensive, if we do end the road, there's gonna be some expense to put a cul-de-sac or something, because I'm sure they're gonna wanna be able to turn around a fire truck or something like that. And it's not, the road is certainly not that wide, so, I mean, even if we don't spend the money to do the bridge, we're gonna be spending some money to do something. And I'd rather not spend money to close the road and put a cul-de-sac in if we're gonna do anything, personally.
Are there any houses?
In order,
inside? No.
well, I was just gonna say, in order to be eligible for any grant applications too, and Jen, I don't know if you hit on this earlier, but we do have to have this engineering and design and permitting in place.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
This has also brought up a good point. This is also the school bus turnaround for that area.
So they're gonna need to turn around.
So we're gonna have to build something where that would work, but that's fine. It took me a moment, because I'm like, I can't even think of this bridge.
It's not
It's
really,
not
I
really
just
a
have a
bridge.
picture of it, it's really not a bridge, it's
It's
a piece of road over a small,
culvert.
yeah.
So, and this will definitely, this 150, I know we've done this a bunch of, this is gonna get us like a real estimate of what it's gonna cost to fix this thing and how long. We're not gonna just get some weird survey with designs and then go, we're gonna call this other company and they're gonna say it's gonna be
No,
500,000.
It says bid documents.
And
I
I'm
know,
happy
it's
to
just, you know how
share,
this works.
I'm happy to share with the full board the submitted materials that were backup for this $150,000 request. I will share that.
It'll give us a price
Yeah.
now and probably for the next 6 months, and then if we don't do anything by then, yes,
We
it
could
will
redo
probably
it
go
then.
up.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, but it wouldn't be we wouldn't need the full, we would just need an update on the pricing.
Yeah, the updating of the pricing is not,
Not gonna
that's,
cost anything.
yeah, that's easy. Once you know what you're trying to do.
And just to the board, I did discuss with Mr. Duffy, based on the comments from the Capital Investment Board, the need to do a full inventory of what else we have, and what is the status of those structures as well. So we can, if there are other structures that we need to plug into the capital program, we can do so.
Well, when we did those street surveys, that obviously doesn't include bridges? We did some surveys, we had a
Pavement
company.
condition,
Yeah, I mean, do they say this is a bridge? At least we
good
know it's
question,
there.
good
Yeah,
question.
and then we can see what it looks like on the top,
Did
so.
we ever see the output of that?
I don't even know if it's completed
Did
yet.
we, I was gonna say, they came and asked for the money for the survey. Did we ever get anything?
I don't even know if it's
I
complete.
believe it's finished. I can follow up with the DPW director and share
That would be
that with
great.
the board.
That would be nice.
Is the Hartwell Street Bridge the only other bridge that we own, or is that what we have to do the survey for?
That's what I'm asking the DPW
Road.
director to look into. Because some of these things, you wouldn't know it was a bridge
Right.
if you were driving over it. There's no guardrails, there's no,
Well, this
you
one
know,
has, yeah, but.
but some of them,
We
you
just
know.
did some work on one by Pear Street. On Worcester, was it
Oh,
on Worcester
there
Street?
was a
Remember, it had
culvert too, yeah.
it had failure and we had to fix it.
I don't,
Yeah, it was
remember it.
closed up for a while, but that's another one of these small,
Yeah, there was.
not really a bridge, just
Raj,
a,
is 6 yours?
6, yes, that's mine.
Okay,
7 is, yeah.
okay.
So we do know that, the Hartwell Street Bridge, it came into the planning board when they put the marijuana
Yeah.
business. So that bridge is not in a world best condition.
yeah, that one.
And that was a questionable ownership, like it might be the.
Railroad or us,
Might be the
but
railroad's bridge.
it's a town.
It is,
It's
okay.
a town, yeah. Okay, thank you. Article 7, Pat. That's for the ambulance.
If I could just, Chris Berglund, did the Capital Investment Board look into this, the ambulance replacement?
Yes, we did, and we spoke with Leslie, who's going to increase the accrual for ambulance going forward, but she said there is sufficient funds in the
But
ambulance account, and will be next year.
as far, I'm talking, did the Capital Investment Board vote on this, to endorse this, or did you discuss the need for it at all?
We did vote to endorse it, yes.
Thank you.
But the difference is it doesn't come out of capital.
No, I
It comes
understand.
out of a
Yep,
different
yep.
group, so.
Thank you.
So is that 2 new trucks the fire department will have in 2 years, 3 years? Didn't they get like an off-road?
But they said,
Like a year ago?
Forestry,
Forestry truck?
Forestry truck.
yeah, and also, it may take another few years to get this truck.
Oh, it's
One
on
of
a,
those things,
it's on
yeah.
a this year
It-
budget item?
it is, it's just the lead time, it can be up to 24 months.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's pretty good.
Okay. Article 8, OPEB trust fund. That's for Christina. Pat, Christina, okay. Article 9, Pat, you want to take it? See, this is a CPC article?
CPC usually does that,
Yeah.
so that's, we skip over us, and somebody from the CPC will move that. Past few years, it's been Steve Blake. I will verify with him that he's gonna do it again.
I'll put it as CPC. If not,
Yes.
you will do it.
And when you're doing the to be moved, it still says Article 11, even though it's Article 9.
This is Article 9.
Right, but on the Article 9,
Put down
It-
here.
Yeah,
it says I move to vote Article 11 as printed, so that just needs to be
Oh,
updated.
thank you.
Yeah, that happens a couple of times.
We did that to anyone read them.
It's a lot easier to fix
You
it now than
pass,
have to
okay?
withdraw
You
it and
pass.
amend it and do all that on town meeting floor.
Oh, why is that?
So Article 10. Is that now?
It's Mark,
Why is it Mark?
No, that's,
it's Mark. Yes,
Mark.
Christina and Mark.
okay.
And so, Mr. Chairman, on this one, I did circulate the information to the board. I had asked the assessor's office to do a calculation of the actual impact here. And so the $192,192 from this tax levy stabilization fund will reduce the tax rate by 17 cents per 1,000.
Can you, for town meeting, equate that to, this is the average household savings? 'Cause
Absolutely.
I did this one last year, and I put I said 20% instead of like 2, I said something really exciting, and everyone was like, yes, and I'm like, that's wrong.
20%?
We were just joking.
Oh, in the
I
handout.
remember this one, it was my first time doing it, and I
Yeah,
was like.
the average, if we can just get the average price and see what it's,
Sure.
it's 60-something probably, or
Yeah.
50-something.
Mark, just make up a number, because I get really excited at
Okay.
town meetings.
This is
Number-
good for like
number
60 grand
11.
everybody.
Number 11,
They jump up out of the seats.
I'm number 11,
Article 11, Chris.
yep. 12 is for you, Raj,
Article 12, it's me.
13 is Pat.
Article 13, Pat.
Wait, what's 12?
Article 13, Pat. Okay, was,
The 13 is me?
yeah. That concludes, and we do need to look at it for the endorsement.
So I think we should endorse Article 3, which is the cost of living adjustment. I'll make a motion to endorse Article 3, I should say.
Second,
Oh, sorry.
We can get to that. Article 3. Okay. We have motion and second. Is there any further discussion? Or can we do it all together?
I already made this motion, so under vote on this, and we can,
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none to include the endorse select board for Article 3.
Aye.
aye.
Okay. Any else? 3 is. Article 4. Transfer of funds now. Article 5.
I don't really see anything, I mean,
Yeah.
we do this, we put them all on, so we really kind of,
Already endorsed.
if we didn't put them on, like we didn't put one on, we obviously didn't endorse it, but I don't know, I know we pick a couple to endorse, but I don't think there's anything else that stands out, do you, Pat, that
I mean, the,
is,
I was gonna say, I'm always a fan of endorsing the ones where we transfer money into OPEB,
Stabilization,
stabilization, and capital investment.
I, just tell me the numbers and I'll second it. Which ones are they?
8,
Article 8.
10, which is the taking the money to reduce the tax rate, 11, and 12, I would like to endorse.
8, 10, 11,
10,
12.
11, 12, all of them, half of
Yeah,
them,
so,
half of them.
That's I'll make a motion to
Second.
endorse those 4.
second.
Second. Okay, we have motion and second. Any further discussion here? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I think that's about it on this town meeting.
So do we say that when we talk about it? Or is
They'll
that
be on,
separate?
they'll be on the ones we sign, it'll say if we endorse, so the person, when the moderator says, any boards endorse this, whoever read the motion usually says, the Board of Selectmen has endorsed
somebody's
this
gonna-
article. It will be on our,
Maybe not.
on our,
I already wrote my notes on these ones,
you can throw those away.
but I have my notes.
The next,
That's still a working draft.
town meeting mailer, we need to approve.
So
Pat, have,
yeah, I think the mailer looks great. I mean, I like the layout, I like that when they open it, it's not just a piece of paper it's kind of gonna stand out. This is more what it's gonna look like, you're thinking?
I hope it's a little bit better quality than that.
Okay.
then. And then I'm planning to put it online as well in the full color, just
Full color,
if,
yeah.
if folks are, gonna click online. Unfortunately, the cost to print it in color was
A lot.
Substantial.
lot more.
substantial.
No, I think it looks great.
can we send it out and print it to some of the cheaper places?
So we are sending this out for printing, folding, and stuffing.
Oh, okay. And the second page also there is a second page.
No, it's the back. It will
Front
be the
back.
back.
Front back.
It does cost a lot of money. And also, our channel 91, channel 92, and the 94 is good now.
It's gonna be, it's mailed
So
out,
the video as well as the audio is working fine.
you can write something.
Excellent.
That's one of the complaints,
Oh, yeah,
Gotta go to
can you
everybody's.
vote on the mailer, please?
My only question on the mailer is, I approved it, I didn't proof any of the phone numbers or email addresses. Did we make sure that those are all correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
We can double check it.
Yeah,
before
I
we
mean,
send
everything
it.
else I had, given you the 2 things that I found, but
Wait, is DPW 835 still?
Yeah, because we did have one go out with the wrong contact.
The website was the wrong number for a little while. Years ago.
I make a motion to approve the mailer for town meeting,
second.
just as long as it's looked at for any issues with phone numbers.
They will look up it, I guess. We have motion and second. Any further discussion?
Who's this?
That's,
That was you,
That was you.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Who's dinner?
yes.
A couple. Decades.
All right, so we had
Thank you.
Different life.
do we have to do we had a motion and second?
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Right, done with that. Town meeting. Old business, we have none. Town administrators report.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to present my report this evening, Mr. Chairman, brief report. The first thing that I am reporting is that we have our free cash certification back from the Bureau of Accounts. Our town accountant worked very diligently to get this done in an expedient fashion and without error. So the certified free cash figure is $548,982. So that is wonderful. I do expect that free cash is gonna start to probably come down to more normal.
Yeah, this is the highest we've ever saw.
Yes, but this is, just so the public knows, this is not all generated from last year's budget. We had a substantial amount of free cash still available that was unspent, so 700,000-800,000-ish.
So it was about 700,000.
So,
We're not gonna-
we did, I mean, we have another 800, but it's not, this is not all from last year.
We don't save $1.5 million a year, just,
No, the budget was an incorrect $1.5 million.
That's correct.
Okay, my next item is announcement about Cheryl St. Louis, or Sherry as she is known in the Treasurer Collector's Office. Sherry came to West Boylston as a certified treasurer, and she recently has taken the exam and has passed to become a certified collector. The exam has about a 50% fail rate, so kudos to her. It is a huge undertaking, and so we are very lucky to have her on the team. Self-defense workshop. Last week, Officer Westerman volunteered his time for a women's self-defense workshop in Lancaster through the Vanessa Marquette Foundation and Force Defense and Fitness. So I'd like to thank Officer Westerman publicly, as well as the chief in the department, for allowing this. And lastly, there had been a previous request to repair the senior center trash enclosure, and that repair has been completed. And that will conclude my report. Thank
Is it possible we could offer that workshop here in
We have
town
it.
also?
We've had a couple.
Yeah. So if you,
Excellent, thank you.
Any questions for town administrator? Thank you. Appointments and resignations. Acknowledge the resignation of Patrick Crowley from the Park Facilities Commission as the Select Board designee effective September 21, 2022. Consider concurrence on the town administrator appointment of Select Board designee to the Park Facilities Committee, Mark Frieden.
I object.
sorry, okay.
I motion to appoint you.
I object again.
You have a motion?
Maybe we can put on a future agenda that we look at the makeup of the Parks Facility Committee.
To
And
redo,
Maybe we can change it around, maybe it's time to add different people to it, I don't know. Maybe if we can put it on a future agenda, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, sure.
Chairman?
Let's put it for that. Thank you.
It worked.
Concurrence on the town administrator appointment of Jacob Webb as a fractional time.
We need to go back to that last,
Finish it.
we need to go back to that last one. The town administrator has made an appointment. It takes a 4 out of 5 vote of this body to overturn that. This is,
It doesn't matter, the person that she's appointing says he doesn't want to take it, so it doesn't even have to be a vote. Even if we all voted to give it to him, he's saying he doesn't want to accept it. We can't force him to take
Okay,
it just
fair
because
enough,
we vote him in.
fair enough.
Oh, I didn't know if you were joking. You're dead
No,
serious.
I
You
don't
don't
really
want.
want it. I don't
That's
need
fine.
another thing
Okay,
that I'll be
I
late
just,
for.
okay.
That
You know
makes
what I'm
sense.
saying, Patty?
Yeah, no, I agree,
I mean,
yeah,
we
yep.
could-
and there's no surprise, I kind of expected that this was going to happen, so.
So do we normally, so I've never seen this before, so this could just be, haven't been part of this. Do we normally put on here, do you normally talk to the person as you're appointing? Like, how did it get here with him not?
I spoke to
You
him.
did, okay. Sorry, I have to.
No, I knew
Have
that
to
I was
ask.
gonna object.
I,
I had to put somebody forward, and it was limited with the makeup of the body, so.
Is there anything going on in that board that's pivotal that they have a full staff?
they
Or-
have a ton of stuff going on.
But
with
I
that board.
absolutely do not want to be.
There's a
I don't wanna hold
project,
them up.
there's a project that's in limbo that I don't want any part of because people are talking about not doing it correctly, which is why I resigned. So yes, they need to,
We
that
need to
board,
appoint someone.
yes.
They still have a board, they still have members. I think there's an open seat
There
anyway,
is one town resident seat is open.
One town resident seat is
unless
open.
unless the
Do
website.
they, if we don't appoint from this board, do they have enough people to vote?
I think
Yes,
that they
yes.
do have,
Now,
they would,
now I think they have 5 members.
They have 5?
Yeah, it used to be 7, 6, and then one of the town resident is vacant, based on the town,
So when it's
So-
7, a 4 is a quorum, so I even have an extra member?
Well, yeah, I was wondering just to make sure. Is there a reason, Chris, you don't want to? You've spoken out quite a bit about parks and your belief on what's happening.
Thank you for asking me. No,
You don't wanna-
I don't, I was on the committee for many years, and I don't want to be on.
I think the suggestion is good, to look at the composition and see if it makes sense to adjust the composition.
I was on the Parks facility from when it started to, I think, when Pat took it over. So I do know.
No, I've been on the Park Facilities Committee.
Oh,
since
well, you
day
and I were both on it for
Yeah.
many
Day one,
years.
yes.
And
Since
then
day
I,
one.
then I
Yeah.
gave it up when, yeah, so I was on the same as, until Raj took it over. Okay,
And I
thank you.
just don't want.
Thank you. We don't need vote on that, right? Yeah.
No.
Concurrence on the town administrator's appointment of Jacob Webb as a fractional veteran service officer, effective October 6, 2022, at a stipend of 5,000 annually, with a minimum of 5 hours per week.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
If I could, just, I don't know if this has been put out to the town, Doug Horka, our old veteran service agent, has volunteered to help train.
Yes.
Mr. Webb, he's one of the best veteran service officers out there, so we're very lucky to have him help train Mr. Webb as the veteran service officer.
Thank you, Pat. Is there a motion?
I did already, so moved.
Okay, motion, and is there someone second?
Did you second?
Pat second, or I did.
Pat,
Doesn't matter. We both second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Concurrence on the town administrator appointment of Talia Lapanti as a election worker, effective October 6, 2022, with a term to end April 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion?
Why
Here.
is it so short of a term?
It's only for one election?
Is that what they usually do?
1 year.
To align it with the rest of
Oh, and then
the,
they get, okay, and then, okay. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meetings, invitations, and announcement. Semi-annual town meeting, October 17, 2022. We do need a 100 registered, town registered members for this to get the quorum.
And that's at the middle high school, and it starts at 7 PM.
7 PM.
Yeah,
So I challenge each board member to bring 5 friends or family members.
We do the.
We've
the
tried that
texting.
before.
Yeah, we literally start texting random people, I'm like, come to this meeting, I don't see you. But I like the sign that is already up, so that was very noticeable. I don't know if I've seen that one before, is that new?
On the electronic sign?
No, actually up by Pinecroft, as you're coming in, there was a
Yeah,
sign there that I hadn't seen.
Couple of years
Real
we've
estate
had.
signs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We started that, May was the first time.
May was, okay, it wasn't a couple years,
Have
so.
more?
I thought that was
Have
new.
more of them?
Yeah,
Like, there'd be a
there are.
nice one out by the,
There is one outside.
There is.
there is one.
by, the off-ramp, by 190.
We have 5.
I was gonna
We
say,
had
we have a
Yeah.
few.
So
Just to remind people so they don't go home and
you
forget
could
about
move them around if needed.
it.
So
'Cause
those are the new
you
ones
could
that were
put
purchased
signs-
in May.
That's for me, so I don't forget about it.
I don't want to be mean, but you could put signs in everybody's front yard, and we're gonna have a hard time getting 100 people. So I think we tell everybody to come to this meeting, we send out a blog, we send out a mailer to everybody's house, every resident in
But then
town
we need bigger.
gets a
signs.
mailer.
So positive.
So,
It's always so positive.
I mean, the mailer right to their house, I don't know how much more invitation we can give them.
The reason we've been having problems getting quorums, been starting late, the reason we implemented this was, okay, it's something else we can try that's fairly inexpensive.
No, I agree, it's
you know,
something different.
Yeah, but I agree with you
Put
that,
a mailer to their house, I mean,
yeah,
you just
it's,
have to open it and read it, and it's great layout this year, so there's a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
people might do
information
that,
on
but
it.
then they forget what day it is. That's why you need the sign by the off-ramp.
that's, which,
I think
Like,
that,
oh, I did want to go to, oh, damn, that was yesterday?
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock, Mark, you should be.
That's why my wife said you should, my wife was the one who said, this is what we should do, we should try this. So I brought it to the board, they said yes, and we'll see if what the next meeting brings.
Okay. Fall Festival, October 22nd, 2022. Is there a timing on the Fall Festival?
That's 11 to 5.
11 to 5. Trick or treating will be October 31st, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The next one is strategizing with the Aldrich Astronomical Society. This is at the Friday, October 28th, 5:45 p.m. at the West Boylston Senior Center.
The next sentence on that says, join the Beaman Library.
Is that something wrong there?
They're doing it together.
Oh,
The library, that's a library event, it's just being
but it's at the senior center, okay.
Yeah, okay. American Sign Language class with deaf expert. Thursday, November 3rd at 7 p.m. This is by Beaman Library. Woodstock Revisited, Thursday, October 6 p.m. Join music historian, educator, storyteller.
So this is another library event?
Another library event. Friends of Beaman Library annual meeting event. Birds of the Cuban Reservoir, Peter Christoph. Tuesday, October 18th at 6:30. It's the same, is it the same? The next one?
Yeah, that's just,
Yeah, that's the same thing.
No, that's a different date.
Oh, yeah, it's October 28th at 5.
Yeah.
That's at the senior center, so we're having,
No, that's the same thing as a,
Two different dates.
2 different
10
days.
days.
I think, it's same
so
program.
one's at the library and one's at the senior center 10 days later? I guess,
That's how it appears.
but then there's a Beaman,
Check that, because I think the email address says to contact the Beaman Library, but knowing the senior center director, I'm imagining
These are all library events. I didn't receive any events from the senior center.
Maybe, we could
so it's
say,
being hosted.
It's all on the library website, so if there's anybody who has interest, it's on the library website.
But
Yeah,
it's
which
being hosted at the senior center? Oh,
10 days after the one at the library? Same presentation? So,
Annual meeting, I don't know.
that's all for the future agenda, the
I
meetings
just,
and
just
invitations.
to clarify, maybe the bird shouldn't have been in that sentence. Maybe the annual meeting is Tuesday, October 18th. And the 28th is the bird presentation.
Could
Maybe,
be.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you. And also, please verify for the library website for the correctness, I guess. Future agenda items and select board reports.
I have one. We had a discussion about when the parking ban was gonna take effect and be undone. I don't recall what it was, but if we could, before it goes into effect, if we can have the DPW in on what he thinks the appropriate dates are and change them if necessary.
And also, do we need to put it on a future agenda, or, whether you will be talking to them? So we do like to have, there are some of the residents' concern is the police log.
I'm sorry, Pat, I didn't, I was talking, what did you ask?
So the no parking in the streets, we had a discussion about that and the dates. I just want to revisit the date. Before we make the announcement, I want to make sure that the dates make sense. I think it ended like April 30th, which is way too late to end.
we didn't change that? I thought we,
I don't think we did.
I think there's some word that says, this is the date,
Well,
if needed.
that's,
we need the snow, we need
that's
the
why
parking
I
ban
just
if
wanted-
needed.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
motion to
Thank you.
adjourn?
Yeah.
So in regards to,
What just came?
Any other thing?
that was just a future agenda item.
Oh, all right.
The only other thing I'd like to is, during the elections at the senior center, I'd like to take the opportunity for the senior center to maybe have an open house during the day, instead of having yellow tape up and saying the senior center's closed. Have the doors open into the rooms, maybe if some seniors can work that day and help out, show them around the building, let people vote and sit down and maybe look at a book or something, an opportunity for the residents, if they want, to look around the senior
Good
center.
idea.
Thank you for that. That is a wonderful suggestion. I mean, a lot of folks understand the tax impact of the senior center, but because they maybe aren't seniors and they haven't had an opportunity to go over there, they should really see what the building has and what there is to offer. So that's a wonderful idea.
There's one election, the front door was locked, and the police officer said, you can't go in there, you gotta go through, because
side
he was
door.
only doing what the election people told him, use the side door, and then when you went in the side door, there were signs up that says, don't go in this, but I think it's an opportunity for people to just take a walk around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also for the wheelchair, the front door has the,
Yeah, and that was the other issue why the front door was
Yeah.
closed. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Mark, you have anything? Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Yeah, motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank
Just
you.
want to make sure I have this, so November,
I do need, before everyone leaves, we do need signed for the
I
couple of
already signed it.
warrants.
mine's already signed.
Okay.